As a men's health specialist with over 2 decades of experience, I've worked with countless men over 60 who believed they were doing everything right to maintain their health. They ate well, stayed active, and faithfully took their daily vitamins. Yet they still struggled with persistent fatigue, cold extremities, and a troubling decline in their intimate lives. Their frustration drove me to dig deeper to uncover why these men, despite their efforts, weren't thriving. What I discovered was surprising. The very supplements they trusted to protect their health were, in many cases, silently undermining it. Certain vitamins, when taken in high doses or at the wrong time, can act more like toxins than helpers, especially for men over 60 whose bodies process nutrients differently than younger men. These supplements weren't just failing to deliver benefits, they were actively harming energy levels, circulation, and sexual vitality. Today, I want to share the 4 most dangerous supplements sitting in your cabinet. Explain how they impact your body, why they're so harmful at this stage of life, and offer natural alternatives to support your health without the risks. Let's start with vitamin D, often called the sunshine vitamin, and praised for supporting bone health, immunity, and overall wellness. It's a staple in many supplement routines, but few people are warned about the dangers of taking too much. Unlike water-soluble vitamins that your body can flush out, vitamin D is fat-soluble, meaning it lingers in your system, sometimes for months. When you consume high doses through supplements, fortified foods, or multivitamins, it can accumulate to toxic levels. I've seen the consequences firsthand. A 75-year-old patient came to me complaining of extreme fatigue, confusion, and loss of appetite. His family noticed he was dehydrated, unfocused, and no longer his sharp, active self. He had been receiving high-dose vitamin D injections, totaling over 4 million IU. Blood tests revealed his vitamin D levels were 6 times above the safe limit, and he was in acute kidney injury. His calcium levels were dangerously high, and his parathyroid hormone, a critical regulator, had shut down completely. He required hospitalization and months of monitoring. Even after stopping the supplements, it took 7 months for him to recover. This is what happens when vitamin D builds up excessively. It causes hypercalcemia, or high blood calcium, which disrupts digestion, brain function, and hormone balance. For men, this is particularly damaging because high calcium levels affect the pituitary gland, reducing luteinizing hormone, which is essential for testosterone production. As testosterone drops, so do libido, energy, and sexual performance. Excess calcium also hardens arteries, reducing their flexibility and impairing circulation, especially in areas critical for intimacy. This leads to weakened arousal, chronic fatigue, and a loss of motivation. The kidneys, overburdened by the need to manage rising toxin levels, struggle to maintain balance. Blood pressure becomes harder to control, muscles tire more quickly, and intimacy, which relies on both physical and mental sharpness, quietly suffers. The alarming part is that many men don't realize how much vitamin D they're actually taking. A multivitamin in the morning, a bone health supplement at lunch, a separate D3 pill at night, adds up fast. Some supplements contain 10,000 to 50,000 IU per dose, far exceeding the safe daily limit of 4,000 IU. For most men over 60, 1,000 to 2,000 IU is sufficient, and only if blood tests confirm a deficiency. Yet few men test their levels. And some over-the-counter brands have been found to contain more vitamin D than their labels claim. My advice is simple. Don't guess. Ask your doctor for a 25-hydroxy vitamin D blood test before continuing any high-dose regimen. You might think you're protecting your bones, but you could be damaging your hormones, circulation, and vitality instead. Next, consider vitamin A, often taken for vision, immunity, or skin health. It's marketed as a gentle, beneficial nutrient, but like vitamin D, it's fat-soluble and can build up in your body over time. I had a 65-year-old patient who was taking 25,000 IU of vitamin A daily, believing it would keep his skin youthful and his eyes strong. What he didn't know was that his liver enzymes were elevated. His vitamin A levels were triple the safe limit, and his testosterone had plummeted. He felt exhausted, emotionally drained, and disconnected from his spouse. After we identified the issue and stopped the supplement, his liver began to heal, but the impact on his sexual health lingered. Excess vitamin A disrupts how your body handles retinoids, compounds essential for cell growth and hormonal function. When the liver becomes overwhelmed with stored vitamin A, it becomes inflamed and loses its ability to regulate sex hormone-binding globulin, throwing testosterone production off balance. Circulation weakens as blood vessels stiffen and sexual performance suffers. The deceptive part is that this doesn't feel like vitamin toxicity, feels like normal aging. Slow energy, aching joints, and fading libido are often mistaken for an inevitable decline when, in reality, they're the result of overloading your body with a nutrient you thought was harmless. You don't even need supplements to get enough vitamin A. A single medium carrot provides nearly twice your daily requirement. Add fortified cereals or multivitamins, and you're likely consuming far more than you need. Since your body can't easily flush excess vitamin A, it keeps accumulating, quietly causing damage until the effects become undeniable. Then there's iron, often seen as a quick fix for fatigue. Iron is critical for red blood cells and oxygen transport. But most healthy men over 60 don't need extra iron. In fact, they often have too much. Unlike women, who lose iron through menstruation for much of their lives, men accumulate it steadily over time. Iron doesn't leave the body easily, building up in organs like the liver, heart, and pancreas, potentially leading to a condition called hemochromatosis. I treated a 68-year-old patient named Michael who began taking 65 milligrams of iron daily after surgery, thinking it would aid his recovery. Within months, his skin took on a bronze hue, his joints ached, and he lost interest in activities he once enjoyed. Blood tests showed ferritin levels 6 times the normal range and sky-high transferrin saturation. An MRI confirmed that his organs were saturated with iron. To Michael, this didn't feel like iron overload, felt like burnout. That's what makes it so dangerous. Excess iron acts like rust in the body, producing free radicals that damage tissues, disrupt circulation, and suppress testosterone. Energy, mood, and libido all plummet. Treating Michael required weekly blood removal for over a year, and it took 14 months to bring his iron levels back to normal. The emotional toll was significant: lost vitality, reduced confidence, and strained relationships. Men over 60 need only about 8 milligrams of iron daily. Yet many supplements provide 18, 35, or even 65 milligrams per dose. Combine that with vitamin C, which boosts iron absorption, and you're creating a dangerous mix. Red meat, iron-fortified cereals, and multivitamins also contribute to the load. As you age, your hepcidin hormone, which regulates iron absorption, weakens. Testosterone, which helps manage tissue iron, declines. Low-grade inflammation, common in older adults, causes your body to hoard even more iron, setting the stage for overload. Most men don't see it coming until the damage is done. Finally, let's address vitamin B6, found in nearly every multivitamin, nerve support formula, and energy blend. It's marketed as essential for nerve health, brain function, and mood. And because it's water-soluble, many assume it's safe. But B6 is unique among B vitamins since the only one known to cause irreversible sensory neuropathy when taken in high doses. The synthetic form, pyridoxine, can build up in your tissues over time, especially if you're taking it daily. I had a 72-year-old patient, a retired accountant, who started taking 100 milligrams of B6 daily for mild numbness in his fingers, a common dosage in nerve support supplements. Within months, his symptoms worsened to burning sensations, muscle weakness, and loss of balance. Blood tests showed B6 levels nearly 5 times the normal range. And he was diagnosed with axonal sensory neuropathy. His nerve fibers were dying from the vitamin he trusted. Even after stopping the supplement, his condition worsened before improving, a phenomenon called coasting. It took over a year for him to regain partial strength, but his handwriting never fully recovered.